Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm here at McDonald Hyundai in Denver to have a look at this very controversial design. This is, of course, the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe calligraphy. Very, very boxy design. I personally like it because I think it's always good. It's always a good thing when companies try to do something that is completely out of the box. And that is exactly what happened here. So what we're going to do in this video is, of course, have a look at the front end design, the side, the rear view, the interior. I mean, Hyundai and Kia last 10 years, they just stepped it up so much. This interior is absolutely stunning, in my opinion. You're going to have a look at that, and then, of course, we're going to take this for a drive. Now, before we go in and check out this design, let's have a look at what's under the hood of this 2025 Santa Fe calligraphy. We have a 2.5-liter turbo inline-4 putting out 277 horsepower, 311 pound-feet of torque, connected to an 8-speed dual-clutch automatic transmission. It does have all-wheel drive, 0 to 60, take about 6.4 seconds. Fuel economy comes in at 20 city, 28 highway, and the price for this one is $46,908. And I think that is a pretty good deal for what you're getting with specifically this calligraphy trim. And you can see we don't even have a prop rod. We have these struts. These type of small details, I think, just adds to the overall quality feel. And you can see just how deep the engine sits in this vehicle. Looking at the front end design here, love what they did. Very horizontal and vertical design, completely different from the previous generation Santa Fe, of course. I mean, when this first came out, I was almost shocked. I thought it was almost like a joke, not to the level of the Cybertruck when that first came out. I thought, is this really what's going on? This one a little bit dialed down than that, but still very, very cool design. Full LED headlights here. You have this H shape for the indicator. A grille that is covered up. We have a couple of holes here. These are the only holes in the grille here, but this is completely open in the middle. You have the front mounted camera right here for sale right here at McDonald Automotive. McDonald Hyundai in Denver, of course. Functional side curtains here. Beautiful to see. Don't want to see any fake stuff. Look at all just how, static this design is with all the squared off features that we have going on. I don't know what you think about this. I mean, when it comes to beauty, I definitely would not call this a beautiful looking design. It's not really, it doesn't have that flow to it that I necessarily want to see in an automotive design, but it's definitely unique, that's for sure. Now, coming around to the side view, in this case, I do think I prefer the side view, which is my favorite view for this vehicle, because I do like the boxy design that we have. And here you can clearly see just how chiseled and boxy this is. We have this graphic right here, Santa Fe. We have indicators in this beautiful white metallic paint. 360 camera located right there. And these wheels are definitely ones you want to get for the Santa Fe, specific for the calligraphy. 21-inch wheels, massive wheels here in black. Maybe not want to have them be in black, but I do think they look very, very good. The design of them in general looks very clean. They're 245, 21-inch wheel and tire setup for the calligraphy. We have the gloss black coming around here again across the entire side, all the way down to the bottom. And what this does, specifically in contrast with the black, I think it looks very, very cool because it reduces some of the volumes that we have. Proper door handles as well. Everything feels so functional in this design. Everything's so rugged. We have more gloss black going here around the greenhouse, and also the A-pillar is all blacked out with the roof rails up top. And we have sort of a split. I don't think I've ever seen that before. One standard size sunroof up here and the big one all the way back in the bottom. And look at these lines that we have cutting into the body of this vehicle. It feels like the designers had a ruler when they designed this car and just sketched out a bunch of different sharp lines all over this design and called it a day. We have the same sort of black graphics here over the rear axle. Beautiful 21-inch wheels again. And look at the taillights here. What is going on with Hyundai? What were they thinking? But at the same time, it's a very, very cool design. It looks almost like a minivan back here because all the graphics sit so low in this vehicle. You have the same H style for the taillights here, as you can see. H-Track Santa Fe spelled out. I do like that it's blacked out. Also that this logo here in the middle is all blacked out. You have the rear mounted camera right there and one exhaust pipes on the side here, in addition to the reverse light all the way down at the bottom. And giving you an overview of the rear end, I really like it. I really like the design of this thing. It's such a unique design that you definitely was not expecting to see from Hyundai. And what this does, this box's shape, obviously, it's going to help a lot with all the storage that you have in the back. As you can see, we have 3 rows here. We can fold this back up just like that. Very simple to do. And fold them back down. You can do it with one hand. Very, very easy to do. Floor mats here being sort of squished in the seats right there. We have the cup holders, USB, air vent as well, 12-volt outlet. And on this side, you can fold the second row. We're just using this. It takes, you know, it takes some time for it to go down. It's not the fastest moving motor. And then you have the, of course, your house outlet right there, and the AC for the third row passengers right here. How cool is this? This is what I'm talking about when I say that I feel like Hyundai has stepped it up a lot when it comes to the quality, specifically when we're talking about the interior design. So plenty of space back here. You're gonna have essentially a container on wheels with this type of design. So with that said, we talked about the exterior design. Let's jump in and have a look at the interior, because that is also one of the good things that one of the key features that Hyundai has updated over the years is definitely going to be this interior. Open it with this rugged door handle that we have, and check out this beautiful interior. The door panel looks great. This is exactly what I want to see. Different type of materials here. Even though it looks like metal, it is in fact plastic. I don't care, it looks great. 2 memory seat settings here. Look at the integration of the door handle here, how beautifully designed this is. And then you have some wood texture right here, in addition to this white leather with the controls for the mirrors, windows as well. A couple of cup holders back down here. Bose sound system. Santa Fe, when you're stepping in, looking beautiful. You have the of course, the power assisted seats in this area right here, down here, and they look great. They have this sort of still very rugged design to them, but at the same time they have this elegant feel. You can see the age graphic coming back in the back seat here as well. Heated and ventilated. We're gonna have a look at that in a minute. So jumping in here, this is what it looks like. Dual 12.3-inch screens, as we're used to seeing from Genesis and Hyundai these days. I think the integration is decent in this case. We have the glove box up there with the button. We have soft touch material, head-up display right in front of us. We also have this camera up top. You can have it a camera or in as a regular mirror, as I'm sure you know. I honestly always prefer to have it just as a regular mirror like this. Moving down, all the way down here, we do have the start button and the vents here as well in these 2 beautiful lines. Hazard button right there, heated, ventilated seats. It's actually pretty hot today, so let's turn on. Maybe it's because the AC is on high. It could be why. So let's turn that down. You have the heated steering wheel in 2 different levels here as well. I love this because Hyundai said they made a huge mistake, you know, taking away the physical knobs and buttons, so they're bringing it back now. And look at it, it just looks great. This is what I want to see. Looking at the 12.3-inch gauge cluster, infotainment screen up here. This is their newest system, and it's so much more responsive and quicker than the old system. We can go into seats, for example. Let's check out what this is. Left seat, we can have the heated seats right here. Second row warm. Second row seat warmer and stuff like this. Very interesting to see. You have the navigation here, and also of course you do have wireless Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, which is something that I would probably always use if I were to own this car and drive it a lot. So pretty responsive for the infotainment screen. We have the gauge cluster here as well. You can sort of customize it a little bit, specifically the center portion here, as you can see, looking pretty clean, and the resolution is absolutely fantastic, which is great to see in a 2025 model year. Obviously, on the steering wheel here, I do like how the spokes are disconnected from the center portion. Not sure if you can see that clearly, but it looks very cool. You have the controls here for the cruise control setting, the auto lane, and for customizing the gauge cluster right there. And on this side, you do have the controls for the voice command and the volume knob. Here we have this little. This is a fingerprint reader, so you can set up the car exactly as you want in your phone, and then you can just, I guess, record your fingerprint. and once you put it there, it's just going to automatically put it into your settings, which is pretty cool to see. Have a look at this massive stalk down here. Putting it into reverse, it is going to pop up the full 360 camera, which has a pretty clear resolution to it. I do like the design, the setup of this, because it shows the entire vehicle. You can also go into this 360 view to see exactly where the car is positioned. It's looking very, very nice. Again, Hyundai just stepping it up the last 10 years when it comes to sort of the quality feel for their cars and the overall vibe that you get when you're stepping into these cars. It didn't used to be like this 10 years ago, that's for sure. You press this P right there to putting it back into park. Very sturdy stock right there. Looking here in the center console, we do have 2 USB-Cs. We have some other connections here as well. As you can see what exactly is connected to what thing here. 2 wireless phone chargers. Great to see that, because we have the space, so why not put 2 in here? It just makes sense to me. A couple of cup holders here. Hyundai's new keys look like, I said this before, like an alien egg or something like that. You have the lock, unlock, hold, remote, and panic button right there. On the side, you do have moving and back and forward with the car. So you can, if you're in a tight parking spot, you can actually remote cruise this vehicle back and forward just a little bit. I mean, nothing crazy. Cup holders there, lifting up this center armrest. You do have an LED down here, which is great to see. You can take this out, it's a small tray, and it gets a lot deeper if you take that one out. You can see just how deep this storage goes. If I put my arm down here, it's crazy how deep it goes. So very, very cool to see that. Very functional as well, of course. This can be opened up from both the back seat, which is very, very interesting design, a useful design. If the passengers want to reach for something, you don't have to worry about that. They can reach for it themselves, which is great to see. Now, looking up top, we talked about this from the exterior, but this looks pretty cool. We have the standard size sunroof here and the bigger size sunroof all the way back there, in addition to a couple of LED lights up here. The overall interior features for Hyundai, as we talked about before, you can see the beautiful ambient lighting here as well. I hope that comes out on camera, just how nicely integrated this is, and still has this very robotic look to it. So the exterior design comes into this interior. You have a second glove box, of course, down here, in addition to the first one that we looked at in the beginning of this video. Let me know what you think about this interior. I think it's a great upgrade from Hyundai, both when it comes to interior design and also exterior design. So let's jump in here, have a look at the second row. In this case, we do have the captain's chairs for this specific vehicle. You can see it right here. Very luxurious. You have the heated seats right in the door, 2 cup holders, another cup holder down there, so the passengers will definitely not go thirsty. You have the same sort of styling for the seats back here. Not as much bolstering as we have in the front end, but that's totally fine. Power assisted seats as well. Looking what's hiding behind this thing right here. We have a big tray you can slide in and out, and USBs on the seats, which is great, because you can never have too many USB-C ports. You always have cameras, phones, tablets you need to charge. So it's great to see they have a bunch of USB-Cs in this vehicle. Some storage here behind the seats as well. And if we look at the third row seats, which now has a lot of things back there, as you can see, this car being brand new with all the floor mats and stuff like that. But as I showed you, you can fold this up right there. And you do have a decent amount of room back here. The seats look pretty sturdy as well. They don't look like just, an afterthought in this case, like they usually do when you have a third row seat. And that is also thanks to this squared off design. You can see just how much headroom we have all across the vehicle. And this has to do, of course, with the design, the boxy design of this exterior. So with that said, we talked about the exterior design, the interior. Now it's time to go and take this for a drive. Alrighty guys, we're taking the 2025 Hyundai Santa Fe Calligraphy for a drive, and let's see what this is all about. 2.5 liter inline-4 turbocharged engine, and as soon as you step into this vehicle, you can feel just how smooth it is and so comfortable. Again, something that is just rarely, I'm not used to Hyundais and Kias feeling this good when you're driving them. It's such a smooth experience. And this being the calligraphy top of the line, of course, You have all the luxuries that you need in here. Love the new interior. Love that they're bringing back physical buttons for the interior in general. It's just something that you want to have, obviously. It just feels very, very good to see that coming back, and not just from Hyundai. Volkswagen has said the same thing, that it feels like they made a mistake, and Volkswagen said that cars are not supposed to be. They're not supposed to be cell phones, so they wanna. Volkswagen is also bringing back their buttons. Great to hear that. Now, let's put it into manual here. Manual mode. Let's see what this is all about. Down to third. Yeah, 277 horsepower is, I mean, for this type of vehicle, do you really need a lot more than that? No, you don't. You really don't. It's totally fine to go with an inline 4 turbocharged, 277 horsepower is totally the sweet spot for this type of vehicle, I would say. And I don't feel like I need more power than this. So let's take a right here instead, because the traffic is just little nuts on the other side. Oh yeah, it definitely goes. Going downhill though, so that could be a part of it. Let me know what you think about these new interiors. To me, as I said, we have the dual screen. I do like the software that we have in Genesis a little better, because you can see that the software itself, from the infotainment screen to the gauge cluster, they sort of morphs together. Here you can clearly see that there are separated screens. It's totally fine. I mean, Genesis is supposed to be the big brother, or the more luxurious. So I do guess the infotainment screen is designed in a little bit more luxurious fashion, which is totally fine. So overall, the 2025 Santa Fe Calligraphy, great vehicle, rides like a dream. I have no complaints about the suspension, anything. It's even though we're riding on 21-inch wheels, it definitely feels extremely comfortable. You don't feel any sort of imperfections in the roads. It's still a very nice ride, and the suspension is soft enough that it is perfect for any type of driving you're doing on a daily basis. So well done, Hyundai, and I'm very excited to see where Hyundai is going to take their cars from here, because they've stepped it up so much the last couple of years that it's going to be very interesting to see how they are going to be able to top these type of vehicles that they're putting out right now. Thank you so much for watching, and thanks to Hyundai, McDonald Hyundai here in Denver for providing this vehicle. I'm gonna link it, of course, down below in the description, and I will see you in the next video. Take care.